The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Wednesday in the Riv. And as you can tell, I was at a retirement board meeting and a very long one. We apologize for the late start. We had a very, very long meeting. But again, as we start our show, what does it say? Police investigating stabbing in Fall River. And this is Channel 7, Boston News. And look at this, huh?
WHDH, that's where I got the story from.
That's it. That's it. Investigate stabbing. And what, isn't that wonderful? And while we're on a subject, before we hit the stabbing, another little one. Remember, Paulie was walking around with the governor. Oh, we're going to get into that one pretty quickly.
Yep.
Being politicians. So let me get, first we go.
Oh, it wasn't only the governor. It was the lieutenant governor and the undersecretary of business or something.
Of BS.
Yeah.
The undersecretary of BS.
Yep.
That's what it was. Because I heard a little nippet on the radio before I went to the board meetings. Was saying, I love Fall River. I love because you got such a great history. Yeah, a history of taking, of rich people screwing the poor people. That's what we got. Because I got the book that's in 1850 we were before the Senate. Help, help, help. My car was jacked on Rodman Street, right next to Pete's Liquor Store. Well, you're buying liquor, there you go, you get your car jacked. Okay, if anybody sees this car, please call the police. It has 3 black rims and 1 silver one. It's been missing since yesterday around 8:30. I've called the police and they still haven't contacted me back. It's been almost 40 days. Please, if you see this car,
Did you
call
notice?
the police. The number's on a plate. The number's on a plate is 195. Repeat, 195. $50 cash reward. $50? Come on. The rims are
probably worth more than $50.
I think this is a Lexus.
Exactly.
It's not a, I don't think it's a super late model, but it's a pretty decent looking car.
Yeah.
It's in decent shape. So here we go. Paulie and our illustrious hypocritical governor. Again, don't, you know, people always ask me why I never wanted to run for office. I don't want to be in a category of those people. They are the biggest liars, hypocrites I have ever seen in my life. Now, it's ironic that I was at a retirement board meeting today because at the retirement conference last year, I saw that lying governor say, the biggest problem we have in Massachusetts is affordable housing for people. Not just poor people, but for everyone in Massachusetts. They're leaving. This is our biggest problem. And she said it again. Remember that? She said it at one of her, I think, at her inauguration speech. Yet, it just goes to show what political hypocrites they are. Nothing. The truth doesn't matter to them. They have no honor. They have no integrity. It's an election year. So she was going to come down to help Paulie. How dare she think we're that stupid? The governor who said this is a problem, and it's a problem in Boston, the richest area, the highest rents, it's a problem. She comes down here, and she has the unmitigated gall, the audacity to say that Fall River needs more market rate housing. And she toured the businesses and how they're going to help all the businesses. Well, apparently Paul didn't walk her up Pleasant Street, did he?
Nope.
And who did they interview? Matuk.
Yeah, of all people.
The man of the $500 towels.
Right.
The guy that's got his business and all his tax breaks in Fall River, and he sells his towels only to rich people.
And he pays minimum wage.
And he pays peanuts.
Right.
That's right. That's why he's here. Next stop, China. After, you know, if they got to close up here because we make them pay his taxes, he's on his way to China.
Yep.
These people are so full of crap. I love Fall River. I heard her say that. I really, it's got a great history. Well, you know something, Governor? I think I'm going to email you a couple of excerpts from Labor's Untold Story from the 1850s. Then I'll mail you the other one of the kid picking trash in 1914 to try to feed himself and his family, picking the barrels and picking trash. I mean, these people are they have no consideration for poor people. And they're all just, you know, they're elitists and everybody else doesn't matter. Paulie's pulling out all the stops. Listen, the governor, who is not poor, the governor who said that affordable housing is a #1 problem, can walk into one of the poorest cities in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts with one of the lowest, maybe the lowest per capita income in the state of Massachusetts, and say we need more market rate housing? She has no idea how much market rate housing we have. She has no idea how much they've built already. But I can tell you, she should have some idea based on the economic condition of Fall River, which she is well aware of, that this city needs a disproportionate amount of affordable housing because a lot of poor, working poor, and moderate income in Fall River is super poor in most of the rest of the states. But you know what doesn't count, CJ? Because it's all about politics. Get your friends in. Come down. And we know it. We've seen it for years. We've been around. Listen, I remember when Dame Sullivan was a state rep. Tommy Finneran came down when he had opposition. But yet Finneran never gave him a committee with a damn all the time he was up there. Finneran, I know Finneran didn't have much use for him. It was common knowledge. But they still work the party line. They don't care about the people.
But that's the problem in Fall River, okay? The people vote the party line. And Fall River is a majority of unenrolled voters.
Yeah.
And it's not an even division between Democrats and Republicans. It's close, but it's not an even division. And what happens is, because we're such a poor community, they buy the vote with a chow mein sandwich, with a chicken dinner, with ham and beans. You know, this is how they do it.
Or with the promise of a train.
Yeah, or the promise
or the Derby horses.
Right.
Or something else. Or $7 million lights and benches. Yeah.
Right.
Well, you know what they'll do to you if you try to sit on those benches? They're probably going to have to show you a tax return in order to get onto that walkway.
Or charge a toll.
Yeah. Hey, good idea. If your income is under $100,000. Oh, and speaking of that, did you see the newspaper? The salaries?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, we're going to sustain this. Fall River. How do you think somebody making 28 grand in a median income, or somebody trying to support a family on a median income, most of which are below, because we know the rich people pull that up a little bit. How do you think a family of 4 living on 48 grand thinks about people making $300,000, $200,000?
Did you see the salary, the top 25 salaries for the school department?
Yeah.
And all the superintendents they have, all the assistant superintendents.
That's right.
Even the principals are making $173,000 a year.
That's right. Almost 200 grand.
Yeah.
With benefits way over. Because remember,
benefits.
you got to throw in all their benefits.
And remember, they only work 180 days a year.
Remember one thing. They get bought out when they retire for big money.
Right.
But listen, Paulie doesn't care. Those are his people. They're his peeps. They're his peeps. The doctors, the lawyers, the Indian chiefs, all of them.
The Matooks.
The Matooks. We bring the governor down. Fall River's beautiful. Yeah, walk up Pleasant Street. Show the governor. You want to throw money? She said, oh, we like to support business like Matook. I'll bet you Matuk gave us some money.
And I'll bet you Matuk gets some money.
And I bet you and he already does. We
Right.
know Matuk gets money. But that's what, and they insult our intelligence. You think that having some governor who's totally out of touch with the South Coast coming down here and saying it's a beautiful place makes it a beautiful place? Remember what Lao Tzu said, I believe. He said, sometimes the truth is not beautiful, and beautiful words are not the truth. Very profound.
Yes, yes.
They're going to pile you up with manure with this guy. They're going to pretend. Went to the industrial park? Yeah, it's bustling so much. Look at the thousands of people we got working in Fall River. Look at the income. Maybe you don't remember. Maybe you weren't even born yet, or you were still going to middle school or grammar school. Do you remember the time to show you how they care about Fall River? Let's go back in time to 1850 when a guy was living on like $125 a year for a family of 6 or something. And then picking barrels at the dump in 1914. Still like that.
Digging up mussels.
Remember when the casino was coming here and the industrial park that they were walking around in yesterday went to the city council, adamantly opposed to the casino. And you know what their reason was? They pay too much. Mm-hmm. We don't want the people of Fall River to get paid a decent wage. Not them. We can make the money. They can't make a good wage. They actually said, and I'll never forget it, I watched it. Make it up. I remember the guy from American Dryer. Oh, I don't, yeah. You realize that I'm going to lose all my labor force. He said, if they come here, they pay a lot more than we do, and well, I'm going to lose, well, isn't that, well, how about paying your people a fair and equitable wage? But like you said, that's what they want. Mm-hmm. They want to pay peanuts and make $500 towels to export. Well, you know what they'll say, they're rational. Well, it's better than working in China. You know, you'll get like 3 cents a week if you're on a sewing machine in China. Work over here. But that was that's theater, political theater. They're all going to come down, and Ork and Claus will be down during the election. They'll all be down. They're going to be throwing all kinds of money at them. And they're going to expect everybody in this community to forget the 3.5 years he's done nothing. Stabbings, carjackings, break-ins, quality of life, nothing.
Gunshots.
No plan for anything. Still hasn't addressed anything. I mean, and I think that you were attacked viciously.
I wouldn't say viciously, but I was attacked without mentioning my name.
Yeah.
But she did reference the fact of my citizens' input. And I will say this, okay? I based my citizens' input based upon what I took from the filing that was put in the City Council agenda. I was made aware by City Councilor Pereira yesterday, as she was attacking me in a roundabout way, that Mimi Larrabee only began that job in March, which was last month. And she's filing this disclosure now.
Yeah.
And Linda believes that that's transparent and not corrupt. Okay? My thing is that disclosure should have been filed before she even started the job. Once they offered her the job and she accepted it, she should have had the disclosure. And my question is, when she was on the school committee, did she vote for the money that is now her pay because it was taken before she was offered the job? And that wouldn't be an ethical violation?
Well, maybe that's why she was offered the job.
Maybe. Yeah, you never know.
Well, we'll never know.
Right, we don't know.
Because remember, and I know you're saying, well, you didn't have accurate information.
I'm not even saying that. I'm saying I based it on the information I was given.
3 years,
yeah.
but it wasn't. But that's not the point.
Right, it's not.
The point is, She swore an oath to uphold the law, and she's exempting special status now. They gave her, our city council gave her that status in spite of the fact that that should have been done before she got that job. It should have been disclosed. I don't care if it's a month, a year, a week. She's supposed to know that that required an action on her behalf. I don't want to hear it. The coven is covering for another one. Yeah, she is special. And everybody on the council that gave her that because of Linda's BS should be gone. Gone.
And you know,
because you know how special she is? She is special because she gets to cover up everything a superintendent of schools did.
Right.
Harassing women, ignoring the Age Discrimination Act and the Disabilities Act. Cover it up. Refuse to tell the people that you are supposed to represent and be answerable to. Absolutely. And again, covering up for alleged sexual abuse in the city. Right now, they're doing it again. And other sexual inappropriateness.
That's right. And you know,
doing the nasty in the attic. That's what they were doing.
Yep.
That's what's been alleged.
That's right.
But what are they doing in our school committee? We don't talk about that.
We don't have a policy.
Committee. We're special. We're special because we take care of our own and screw everybody else. Believe me, if it was somebody they didn't like doing a nasty in the attic, it would have been on the front page of the newspaper, and they would have been gone.
That's right.
And these people, and how many lawsuits? When is the public going to demand that we know how many lawsuits we had to pay and how many are in litigation on Malone and everybody else? It's criminal charges being filed against that individual currently.
Yep.
And you think our school department doesn't have an obligation to tell the people, this school, what is it? We've got all kinds of things going on that are inappropriate and illegal in our school. And they cover up everything. Yes, she's special. She's one of you. She's one of the special people. Just like last night, the harp seal. Before they could even read what Coogan did, Kilby, I make a motion. Yep. You don't even have to read the rest. Paul sent it down.
That's right.
And Linda, that's right, let's vote.
Second, I second it.
I second it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Spend some more money, Paul. It's an election year. And we'll all tell everybody how good we're doing.
And I want to know what is so important for Paul to put not only accept, but to expend the money. He doesn't want to go back to the city council for approval to expend it or to explain how he's
of course.
It. And that's why he keeps doing it. And the city council knows it. Michelle Dion brought it up numerous times, and the city council still votes for it.
Guess
because
what?
when they got screwed on the ARPA funds, that was Paul's whole purpose of doing it.
And guess what? What they're doing is illegal. They are violating their oath of office.
That's right.
Because they are the fiduciary, and they are the legislative arm of this city. They are supposed to look at every penny. And I got case law. And when the budget hearing comes, I'm going to give you, for the second or third time, that case law. And I'm going to tell you, you people, except for Michelle, are doing nothing. You don't care what the law says. Because if there's a law, what do? We deem this person special.
That's right.
She does not have to. You can do it after the fact. Okay.
And as
that's what you want for a government, you know, that's not what I want for a government.
And as I said in my citizens' input, I said, this is examples of how corruption exists in Fall River. And Linda goes all offended by that. All offended. Mimi Laravy's been working 30 years at the Boys Club. She just left to take this job. There's no corruption. This was transparency. That's what she said.
Doth protest
too much. Exactly.
Remember.
Exactly. And remember, Linda, and I want to remind you, Linda, when you were the one informing on the corruption in the city, it was important for you to do because you didn't like the person you were informing on. So when it's informing on somebody you don't like, it's okay. But if it's on somebody you like, you can't do it. And that's not corruption, that's being special.
Well, yeah, but that's being special because remember, she swears an oath to the Constitution to be a representative of the people and obey the law, but she has a superior power.
The coven.
The coven.
Yeah. Well, and
in the coven bylaws, it says, in the bylaws of the coven, it says, anybody we designate as special can do anything they want.
Well, and the worst part about it was Linda then turned around and said, I've had to call ethics several times because my daughter's on the school committee. Well, then why are you even talking on this issue? Because this is a school committee member. That could be an ethical violation. Did you talk to ethics about before you voted on this? I don't know. Did you? You didn't mention it. You say that you have to call ethics all the time because your daughter's on the school committee. Guess what? Anything that comes before you, like the buses yesterday, you should have recused yourself, got up, and walked out of the room, and then came back after that vote was taken.
Or at least had an opinion saying you didn't have to.
That's right.
But listen, we're here all the time proving that there are two separate categories of people in Fall River: the connected and the disconnected, and the disenfranchised. The franchised, you got a franchise. Are you part of the franchise? The market rate housing franchise? The special designated category franchise? Or are you one of the disenfranchised? This city is going the way of the United States. We're falling apart. I mean, teenagers murder a child, kill him in a car accident, and Lori Lightfoot was bad, but now all of a sudden she's saying, we got to tell the truth about crime. What's the new liberal mayor and a liberal DA? They charge those teenagers with a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor. They murdered somebody.
I'm sure the parents aren't happy.
Yeah, they're not. But, it doesn't matter because they don't count.
That's right.
They don't count.
That's right.
Parents don't count.
And, this country as a whole is gone from democratic to blind to extreme socialist, and now we're bordering on communism. And that's what America's becoming. Yeah. Fall River's already at the socialist point. But the only people that benefit from that socialism is the businesses, the connected.
That's right, the connected.
The connected. Like people who use Ken Fiola to get grants, ARPA money, zoning board changes, licensing. That's what he gets paid to do. Yeah, that's what he gets paid to do. But you know what? When you use them, you automatically get it.
Let's hearken back to when we went over the 4 major indicators of a civilization and a collapse. Crime. We got it.
Yep.
We're number 1. Mm-hmm. Education, 335th out of 351 cities and towns. A low social cohesion, which means that the people feel disenfranchised.
That's right.
There's no more pride in a city. People don't work together. They've got us separated, divided and conquered. And the last one, drugs. We got a ton of those too. So we're checking all the boxes, people. Do you want your city to continue and in a few years be deemed in receivership and then...
Or worse.
And have this crime wave continue? We've allowed our police to deteriorate to nothing. We've allowed, the school department to run amok covering up stuff. Nobody's demanding accountability, and they are accountable by the Constitution of this state. They are accountable to us at all times. But you don't hold their feet to the fire. Please, get them out of there in November.
And remember, what was one of the major causes of the fall of the Roman Empire?
Hedonism.
Yeah. And people forgetting to vote.
Yeah, well, that's Teddy Roosevelt. The hedonism of actually, he wrote a speech. He said, the great Roman Empire fell because its people stopped voting.
Yeah.
They lost control of their government and allowed government to control itself, which is the most dangerous aspect.
And that's what's happening in Fall River.
They were too busy being hedonistic.
And that's what's happening in Fall River.
Well,
we're letting the Fall River government, the city council, the mayor, the school committee, I mean, the boards, the commissions, all govern themselves.
Yeah, they do.
And they get all upset when an open meeting law complaint is filed.
Oh, and they get all upset when somebody says that what you're doing is wrong.
Right.
You remember, it's only a Supreme Court decision now that they're not telling you can't say that.
That's right.
Linda's not saying, I'm not going to stand for people saying this in front of the council.
You have to.
But I can badmouth anybody I want.
That's right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And I don't care. You can say anything you want. But that's the thing. You can say anything you want. That's America. But we can't continue along this path. This path we're on the road. We're on the road to destruction. And you can't. People feel disenfranchised. There's a malaise. They said, there's nothing you can do about it, but there is. You can vote. You can go to the council. You can write letters. You can show the council. They show up with 14 Girl Scouts to get anything they want.
That's right.
Start going to the council meetings. Start writing letters to your council. Start calling them. Melt their phone lines. They're spending your money. Remember what Reagan said. Government spends its money like a drunken sailor. But the only difference between a drunken sailor and government is a drunken sailor pays for his own bills. We're paying for their drunken sailor mentality. Nobody cares. And then now to allow Paul another blank check. Yeah, we approve it. Do anything you want now. We don't have to go back. You don't think that language was planned and pre-approved by the coven and the cabal? These people are running amok. They don't care. They do not care about you. They do not care. Nobody. And these people they say they don't have enough time because they got to try to feed themselves. Well, you got to make time now. And November will be here before you know it.
Exactly.
And it's time to shake up the tree.
And I'm tired of hearing from people, it's not my year to run. It's not my year to run. I don't want to run. It's too much aggravation. It's too much this, too much that. Because there are so few people who run for office in this city, we keep getting the same bottom of the barrel scraps.
Yep.
We get the crap that you scrape off your shoe after walking through the dog park. That's what we get for elected officials.
And and they all complain about the way the city's being run, but you notice that the North End, the only people that have run, all the rich people.
That's
run.
right.
That council has always had a majority of people from the North End who don't give a damn about the rest of the city, and that's
right.
the bottom line.
And right now you've got a city councilor that only cares about the mayor. Whatever the mayor wants, the mayor gets. That's it. And you have people like Andrew Raposo, who we had big hopes for. We did have big hopes for. And guess what? Let us down. He lets down all the people in Fall River. His votes are wish-washy. He doesn't even try to vote. He just says, okay, yes, 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 yes. Okay, it's like the rest of the bobbleheads. Yes, 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 yes. That's all you see. That's all you hear. Nobody asks questions except for Michelle, and then she gets attacked by her colleagues on the council. That is unacceptable behavior.
For doing her job.
That's right, and it's unacceptable. I want to thank you all for watching. Sorry we were late today, and remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. We'll see you on Friday.
That's on me.